I cannot believe what I just read in the Wall Street Journal. And it is a great example of how the media is leading investors astray. In 2006, 2005, so many media outlets got it wrong because it doesn't matter if you write for or work for some massive financial publication. It doesn't mean that you know what you're doing with your money. And the public, by and large, are mostly headline readers. They don't dig deep into it, and they just go with what the pros say. And wouldn't you agree that if you write for the Wall Street Journal, you would be a financial pro? I mean, that's how they charge so much for their publications, right? Now, this is not about crypto. This is about real estate. However, there is 5 hours left on that Crypto Trader Pro 24-hour sale. If you guys want to go check it out, there's a link below. This is about real estate. And it's very important because we're going to talk about commercial real estate and how they missed it. We'll also talk about residential real estate. The title of this story is Surge in Commercial Property Foreclosures Suggests Bottom is Near. That is absolutely insanely wrong. I'm going to show you using their own chart how they are wrong. And we'll explain how a cycle between residential versus commercial real estate, they happen at different times for specific reasons. And it's very easy to figure this out. And then what's really cool for you is it'll be really easy for you to plan your next move. It says lender portfolios for foreclosed and seized office buildings, apartments, and other commercial property grew 13% in the second quarter. Banks and other lenders are seizing control of distressed commercial properties at the highest rate in nearly a decade, a sign that the sector's punishing downturn is entering its next phase and approaching a bottom. That is 100% not true. I did another story, a video on mezzanine financing and how important it is for you to understand what it is on my other channel, Real Estate Ninja. And pretty soon I'm going to start filming videos on commercial real estate finance stacking, which most people don't understand how that concept works either. And it's really cool because different types of financing that are involved in commercial real estate, they have different layers and different time frames for which they start getting foreclosed on during a downturn in an economic cycle. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and confuse anyone, but we'll just dive in and I'll show you the chart and it's going to make a lot of sense. In the second quarter of this year, portfolios of foreclosed and seized office buildings, apartments, and other commercial properties reached $20.5 billion, according to MSCI. That is a 13% increase from the first quarter and the highest quarterly figure since 2015. Defaults and other kinds of distress have been steadily building in the commercial property market to near historic levels. We're going to definitely blow past those because of high interest rates and the slow return of workers to office buildings. Until recently, though, many lenders have been reluctant to take over properties in hopes of a recovery and to avoid the expense and losses of foreclosure actions. Lenders will do everything in their power to avoid that. So it says foreclosures are on the rise. Now, this chart is excellent to take a look at. It says it's the value of seized commercial properties held by lenders. Okay. It starts back in 2007. Now look at back here in 2007 where my finger is. I mean, almost nothing, right? Let's get out of that glare. Okay. Almost nothing. And then you see it obviously spike way up, come down, and now it's starting right now. Now, let me show you something that will blow people away. Back in 2007, interest rates were actually not at their highest. Their highest was actually around 2006, and they started to fall dramatically because the crash had started in mid-2005. So what you see is the reason why commercial foreclosures were that low way back then was because of the amount of time it takes for a tenant of a commercial property, and think the same exact scenario for your own home, right? For residential, it takes a certain amount of time for there to be problems. People are missing rent, there's slow pay, things like that. And then they really go into default. And then there's this default window, this timeline of, or going into special servicing. And they go into special servicing, it's not helping. Okay, we're going through the foreclosure process and it takes a certain amount of time. And then they start to give their properties to banks, the real estate market starts to crash, and then you see that upswing in actual foreclosures. So going back, you see again, in 2008, you see that they were actually really crazy low, right? And then they exploded. Okay, so now check this out. Now we're in something way worse. Interest rates are at their highest levels for commercial property that they've been in quite some time, okay? And the ability to get loans, right? To be able to go out and get DSCR loans, large commercial loans, are at their hardest levels. It's more difficult to get a commercial loan right now because the rules are getting tightened. You know, underwriting is getting tighter, harder to pass. You can't just go out and get any kind of loan for any type of building now, right? So you're now seeing that happening right now. Well, banks right now are in the middle of hiding all of the truth. They're in the middle of putting a bunch of people into special servicing, and they're trying to hide the fact that we are in the middle of, or in the craziest crash in real estate history right now, near the second to the Great Depression. All right. So what you see here is absolutely insane. And for the Wall Street Journal to come out and say, well, foreclosures have spiked in the last like 2 quarters, so we're at a bottom now. We're pretty much at a bottom, is the most insane, ludicrous statement I could ever hear out of a financial publication. And if you agree with that, type 1 down below. If you think, no, the Wall Street Journal's got it nailed, type 2. The reason why I want your opinion is because I want people to really start thinking like an investor. And very few people do. They're speculators. So they get a hot tip on real estate or on stocks or on crypto from a friend. They don't listen to somebody that's actually been around the block. And it was publications like Wall Street Journal that I was watching in 2005 that were mocking Michael Burry and his team for shorting the real estate market. This is true. I lived through all that as an investor. Very few people do. That's why you see most people run around and hide behind a fancy car and a fancy suit to try and tell you they know a lot about real estate market, when in all reality, they have zero clue. Okay. The cool thing is I could give 2 craps. All right. So now you have to remember that this is another thing. You'll notice that the explosion happened over here in 2010, right? 2011 and 2012. Well, the reason why that explosion happened in commercial real estate was in foreclosures was because during those times, what happens is this is a normal cycle, the bell curve, okay? Bell curve is everything is awesome. Interest rates start going up. Everything is real cool till this really sucks. And things, people are buying less homes, things are getting more expensive, and then it tops, and then people start to sell and things go bad, right? And you could look at unemployment the same way. Unemployment was rising from 2006, 2007, 2008, then it really started to accelerate. Well, when you own a commercial business or a property, your property is based off of the health of an economy. So when unemployment rises, less people go to see your business, see your tenant's business. They don't buy as much, things like that. They close their doors, they go out of business, they get, all that stuff. So that part in commercial real estate lags the residential. It always does. It takes longer for a commercial property downturn to happen in a real estate or economic cycle normally than it does with residential or the unemployment cycle. So that's why that was so high, because it was during that time. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I got to sign in again. Stand by. Holy cow. You hit the wrong button, and this is what happens. My buddy's going to be making fun of me. That's because this is how I do my videos. Because I don't give a rip. Hey guys, in life, just let me throw this out there. Type 3 if you're one of those people that understand that you can do anything that you set your mind to. Sometimes you don't want to. And you don't give a rip about all the other people that judge you. Just type 3 down below. And you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. So again, this is why this commercial real estate bust was so big. So now what you're seeing, the Wall Street Journal says, oh, we're almost done. Don't worry, we're pretty much at the bottom right now. But unemployment is now starting to tick up, right? You've got banks already failing all of 2023, just failure, failure, failure. And they're trying so hard to keep this together. And now unemployment's ticking up. So they're going to be more and more. The consumer is slowing down rapidly. We are seeing that everywhere. We're seeing companies like FedEx going, hey, we don't even need to fly as many planes anymore. We're going to cut flights by 40% in some places because there's not enough packages, because things are slowing down. Amazon's talking about it. Home Depot's talking about it. So you see, the next wave is going to be massive, and it's going to take, I can tell you what, this number right here is going to be above the 2008 crisis. That's an easy thing to figure out. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you getting ready? Whew. Okay, so let's see here. It says, but distress is working its way through the financial system after more lenders conclude that obsolete office buildings won't recover their former value even when interest rates decline. That is leading to sales of foreclosed properties and distressed mortgages. It is also bringing an increase in short sales where lenders and borrowers work together to unload troubled properties for whatever they can get. Well, here's the thing. The banks can't take write-downs. They can't have the losses start stacking up on their balance sheets. And primarily, we're talking about regional banks in the nation. Regional banks are the ones that took the heavy brunt of the commercial loans, okay? And so they're pushing it off. Some of them are just refinancing at the current financing rates, but the money that they go and borrow, these lenders, these mid-tier banks or regional banks, it costs them more. So it's a massive hole. And what's crazy, this is how crazy this is, that some tool from the Wall Street Journal that has no concept of economic cycles, you are seeing the Treasury going out and they're actively buying long-dated bonds from the banks, meaning that banks that went and bought, let's say, 30-year bonds when they were yielding, 1.5% or whatever, 2%. And they're buying them back because they're going, crap, this is making our balance sheet look horrible, so we can't go and borrow from other banks at a good rate. We're imploding. So the Treasury's like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll buy them from you. So then they can take that cash and go buy newer bonds to uphold their balance sheet on their bond portfolio with higher rates. This is absolutely insane. In the last year, a year ago, the FDIC came out and said, we're insolvent. We have no more money left. Do you know the last time that's happened? Think about that. They go, we don't have any more money. So big banks or banks, we're going to raise your insurance costs. And then the Fed comes out and goes, they can't afford that. They're so insolvent. And so then you've got, okay, we're going to make the big banks raise the rates for insurance, for your insurance, for FDIC insurance. That's how bad this crash is. If you aren't getting ready for an epic meltdown like the Great Depression, you deserve it at this point. And I'm not joking. Like, I've been pounding the steering wheel. I've been riding the tricycle around. I need to bring the tricycle back. Type 4 if you agree with that. Most people are like, what tricycle? But the thing is that people are just blind. They don't want to spend time. And what's really cool is for every single one of you, and type 4, sorry, you already did that one. Type 5. Or just say, I am, if you're one of those people that are actively getting ready, and you're not going to sit on the sideline and let some loser bank that's been taking advantage of people buy up all this crap at pennies on the dollar. That's the whole point of this channel. It's like, teach everyone about an economic cycle. Let's make the middle class rich again, and let's charge them out. I'm sick and tired of governments and banks running our country. It should be the middle class running the country. The masses, our voting physically for elected officials, or voting with our dollars into the economy. Oh, I don't like that company wants to see my child be talked to and learn from a drag queen. I'm not going to buy their thing. I'm not going to go to their school. I'm not going to go to that library. I'm not going to buy that product because I don't want this woke agenda pushed on me. But the problem is, if the middle class is broke, they can't vote with their money. And that's exactly where the king wants you. We're going back to serfdom. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, thank you. If you didn't, there's videos of cats with lasers and babies. You can throw cheese on their head when they're crying and they stop crying. It's amazing. That's on my, I put that on my Facebook page, Economic Ninja on Facebook. I couldn't stop laughing. You want to get a baby to stop crying? I guess you throw cheese at it. It's awesome. Go check out the Facebook page, it's Economic Ninja. Hope you have a great day. The Economic Ninja is out.